so worried about, I want to, lose all this body fat and build all this muscle. You're overthinking it when you first come in.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to get into a routine. You just need to go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, work out with the weights, do your cardio, try to clean up your diet a little bit. Don't go too crazy with it. Do that for 6 months to a year or 2 years, because you can almost do anything for the first year or two,
right,
even if it's wrong,
right,
and make progress.
Right,
okay?
right.
So just get used to being in the gym.
Now, is there a point where somebody might go the opposite direction and not eat in a way that they're going to lose muscle and put on fat, like get an opposite effect?
Man.
Or is that a whole other show?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's possible. I mean, that's what most people are doing when they don't train. I mean, that's their lifestyle before they kind of get into the gym. I mean, that's sedentary lifestyle, not using your muscle, eating the fast food and the processed food. That's when that happens. I mean, that's exactly what's happening to most of America right now.
Sure, yeah.
So I don't know who would really. I mean, if you want that plan, you can go ask the guy at McDonald's.
Right.
And he's going to give you that plan.
Right. Well, and and interesting you say that, because I think it was 2011. Topeka was actually the number one most obese city in the world,
nation,
or in the nation. And we at the time we were the fattest nation in the world.
If you're leading the U.S., you're leading the world. Too,
yeah, exactly. So and that's a big serious problem. But again,
locally,
yeah.
I'm sure the 100th place city was like a half a percentage point lower than Topeka. It's a problem.
It's a problem, yeah.
Everywhere.
So, okay, so would you say once the person has been in for, again, just for easy math, 6 months, how long would it take for somebody to go beyond that before they can start seeing some progress one way or the other, do you think?
Kind of when they have to kind of maybe make a decision, like if they're slowing down a little bit,
sure,
and they're kind of feeling plateaued.
Like how do you? Yeah, like how? Oops, sorry.
How
do you know?
It depends on the individual. Depends on a lot of factors. I tell most people you're going to make a lot of progress if you're fresh to the gym. I don't really care your age, even. I mean, you could be a teenager or you could be in your 50s or 60s. I mean, obviously you're going to have a better result the younger you usually are, just because your body's just better at adapting to things. But I tell people, almost everybody I see, just by doing weight training, again, we're talking about doing this correctly, not just kind of going in there and being misinformed or doing things
right,
but halfway correct. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I mean, 2 or 3 times a week, circuit training will do this for people. Circuit training is not that hard to learn.
Mm-hmm.
After about 3 or 4 months, they start like noticing, like, oh my goodness, I'm looking different, I'm feeling different. After 6 months to 8 months, a year maybe, like other people are starting to like notice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then after a couple of years, it's like this is a big transformation. I mean, they're not usually where they want to be, but I mean, it's like nobody could mistake the difference. I mean, you'd have to be blind not to see it, right?
Right.
And this is with 2 or 3 times a week, trying to work on the diet a little bit. I mean, just make small changes. You don't have to be completely, change everything, but it's basically just doing some form of resistance training 2 or 3 times a week and kind of maybe limiting your sugar intake a little bit.
Right.
That's basically what I tell people to do. Right.
Well, and creating the environment internally inside your body to make changes is extremely important. But it takes consistency to do that. I tell people sometimes that creating a different environment in your body is like an ecosystem. It's like a swamp or something. If you introduce a new animal to a swamp or a jungle, it's going to change the ecosystem. If you throw a bunch of barrels of, oil into a body of water, it's going to change the ecosystem. It's the same thing in your body. If you put bad things in there, it's going to change the ecosystem. If you put good things in there, it's going to change it, and and the last place it shows up is on the outside. So you're going to eventually see it.
Yep.
So, what else is there about losing body fat? And I mean, a lot of there seems to be a conception, and again, maybe a slight misconception, that it's something that just pops up. It just happens. You see a lot of befores and afters, a lot of 30-day challenges and things like that. I mean, do those really work, or how does that happen? How do people make that change, or do they, or is it just advertising?
Like the dramatic ones you see, like somebody loses 30 or 40, 50 pounds in a month or two or whatever.
Yeah, you see like the bummed out guy with the gym shorts on, and then the next picture he's got six-pack abs.
Yeah, I think most of that's smoke and mirrors. I don't really think. I mean, there's going to be certain cases where people are just, just really respond better to certain diets and training. But again, this is a long-term process. You just don't. 30 days in, you're just kind of getting your feet wet. I mean, unless you're just totally so far out of it. I mean, I just don't see. Most of the time, I think a lot of that is seriously they alter the photos.
Right.
They don't have a tan in the first one. They have a tan in the second. You could do that on day one and you'd look better.
Right.
They have the different lighting for the before and afters. Again, not to say that people can't make progress in 30 days or 45 days because they can, but I wouldn't expect anything life-changing,
Right. Now, is there, when it comes to losing body fat, is there a such thing as spot reduction? Is that a myth?
I think that's basically a no. I don't really think you can spot reduce. Because you really, I mean, it is a no. I mean, you can't do it. I mean, essentially, when your body decides to lose body fat, when you're in a calorie restricted phase or whatever, when you're not eating quite enough to maintain your body weight, it determines where it takes body fat from. It's going to take it from everywhere.
Sure.
It's just, it may take certain areas more than others. It may seem, like for example, for men, it takes body fat away from the chest and the arms and the lower legs before usually the lower abs and the butt.
Unfortunately.
Now, you may ask yourself, well, is it not taking any from the lower abs? And that it is, but it's like there's less to take from the other areas to begin with, so it's more of a visible.
Yeah.
You can't just do more crunches or more arm curls wanting to lean up your arms or get the stomach fat off.
Right. Right.
You have to let your body do it as it wants. Some people just store less body fat in certain areas.
Oh, tell me about
There's genetically gifted people who are like, they just don't store body fat almost at all.
Yeah.
But everybody has that last area there'll be more body fat stored there when everything else is leaner. Right?
Well, I think a lot of things is just understanding the body. The human body wants to survive whether you're conscious or not, and I think that understanding the fact that it's protecting the organs, it's protecting it's sustaining.
That's usually what happens if you think about it. The farther away you get from your internal organs, the less body fat you store. Your hands have a lot less body fat on them right now. Even if you're at 4% body fat, your hands will be a lot leaner than your lower abs.
Right.
I don't care what your body fat percentage is. It's because the more important areas of the body are going to store body fat more efficiently.
Right. And that's why they're last. That's why it's last to go too.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing.
You don't want a bunch of fat hands and nothing on your stomach, because then your heart might give out or something. You freeze to death somewhere in some ditch when your car breaks down.
Right. Exactly. So understanding the body is very important too. So, when it comes to, and I say this for any endeavor, whatever your goal is to just start, pick up a book, learn a little bit about it.
I agree. I mean, just listen to this program if you want to skip over all that.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're spoon feeding you what you need to know.
But that you did bring up a point. It's kind of slipping my mind now. Hopefully I can get back to it. We were talking about the spot reducing and all this because, again, I don't know how many times I've heard, again, usually it's women, they come in and they say, well, I just want to lose this underneath my arms here. They call it the
just want to lose. The waving.
You wave up here and it waves down
there.
And all this, or I just want to lose this on the backside.
Yeah. The just want to lose concept.
And they say, so what I need to do that, or I want to lose my stomach. Those are the two areas: my stomach and the tricep fat area. And I say, what you need to do is not worry about those two areas. So if you want to lose body fat and get in better shape, you need to work your entire body.
Right.
Abs, back, legs, shoulders, arms, the whole thing. That's why we do circuit training with them.
Right.
Because it's easy to learn.
Sure.
But it's effective. And so they work their entire body, and over time, that body fat starts reducing everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You say, well, we're not even doing crunches sometimes.
Yeah.
So, we're not.
No.
But yet your body fat's leaving that area.
Right.
Slowly, but it is.
Right. Yeah, and
I mean, you can do 1,000 crunches a day, but if you have a bunch of body fat there, it's not going to make a difference. I
Right.
mean, the muscle underneath will be more developed, I guess, but there's just a lot of misconceptions on how to get body fat off,
right.
and how to eat for that too. But again,
Right.
so yeah, if you're going to the gym, work the entire body.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
And one thing that kind of goes along with that it really isn't. It doesn't have really much to do with the physiology of it, but if you're putting on muscle, we talked about how your metabolism rises because it has to sustain the living tissue, right?
And metabolism is just simply, again, a reminder for everybody out there. Basically, all it is it's the rate at which your body burns calories.
Yeah.
Is it better at doing that, or is it more conservative and just doesn't want to do anything with them except keep them?
Right.
As body fat.
Yeah, exactly. and so, but the thing is that when also another thing that gives you the illusion of, and it actually, if you're using a skin caliper, it might give you lower body fat readings. Is the more lean tissue you have, the more your surface area stretches. Your skin stretches a little bit, which stretches the body fat underneath the skin. The subcutaneous junk stretches out, which, I mean, on a skin fold makes you less body fat. I don't know about the bioimpedance thing, or if you jump in the water or get your body scanned, but on a skin fold test, I mean, it makes it less.
Again, the skin fold and the bioimpedance, all this stuff, I mean, they're good tools if you really know what you're doing and how to track them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it has to be done the same way, accurately, by the same person every single time, or otherwise those numbers are going to be all over the place.
Mm-hmm. At the
People
same
get
time of
freaked
day,
out
too.
about it.
Yeah.
There's so many variables, hydration, and
There's so many things to freak out about.
And when I get even people ready for contests, I basically tell them, don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
Unless you have somebody that can do that for you at the same time, the same way, that's very good at the skin fold testing.
Right.
I mean, and I say, even if you get the number, let's say you go get dunked in a tank somewhere, and say your body fat's 12.9. Who gives a flip?
Yeah.
You still look and feel the same before you went and spent the $200 and having dunk you in there. What does that information really give you?
Yeah, and it doesn't give you anything. It just
nothing.
And and that's one thing is that there's always going to be, at least now the waters, the hydrostatic weighing where they dunk you in the tank, that's supposed to be that in the body, the full body scan on that laser table. That's what I call it, the laser table.
Yeah.
Those are supposed to be the most accurate.
Well, I'm saying let's assume they're 100% accurate. My question is,
who cares? Yeah.
You still have to do the dieting, the training to change your body fat. Do you like what you see or not? Is the ultimate question. Yeah. Does your doctor have a good result for you when you go get your lab work or not? That is the ultimate end goal here. Well, what that damn machine says, I could care less.
Right. Well, I've had to talk people. I've had to talk people down from an episode before because they've used skin fold or they've used the bioimpedance and they were, X amount of body fat percentage higher than what they thought they were and things like that. But those small. Basically, what I'm saying is if you can buy it at Walmart, then you're going to have a 5% window fluctuation above and below what you're doing. So you're looking at 8 to 10%.
And you can use these things if they're used in combination with other things, right? But
same with the scale.
It still has to be done as accurate as possible, and that's it's tough to get that done.
To do.
I'll give you a story before we get done here. I had done a bodybuilding show one year. And it was like 2 or 3 weeks after the show, and I had my regular doctor appointment or whatever. Mm-hmm. And again, I'd been eating some other food. I mean, I wasn't super, super lean like I was the day of the contest, but I don't gain body fat very fast, just me personally. No. And so I was probably at 6 or 7% body fat maybe when I went a month after the show. And that would be being generous.
Sure.
I mean, really, honestly, that's probably what I was. And I went. And I got on the scale, and they said, well, you weigh 210 pounds or whatever. And it measured the body fats when you stand on, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
We went back into the room, and the nurse comes into the room. She's reading me my chart, got the print out there that the machine gives her. And she says, well, you weigh whatever, 210 or 15 or whatever I weighed. And she says, and your body fat's 22%. Mm-hmm. And she's looking at me with a straight face. And she's like... And she goes, and we like to see males like under maybe 18, 12 to 18 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I just shook my head and said, okay.
Yeah. What do you do?
I mean, she was looking at the machine to give her feedback. Mm-hmm. She was so concerned with that machine said. I'm like, did you happen to look at the person you're talking to?
Yeah.
And I knew there was no way.
Yeah.
I was 22% body fat. I
Yeah.
just